Hey y'all, what's going on? John Doherty here from Editor Ninja. So, welcome to another free training from Editor Ninja. And today I want to show you a couple of things and talk to you about how to really maximize your content budget by identifying the areas that the roles that you're filling or that someone on your team is filling that they should no longer be. I think something that a lot of content people run into is we're not actually measuring how effective we're being with our time. I hear from a lot of people that the director of content or a senior writer or someone like that, even like VPs of content, VPs of marketing, are doing a lot of editing. And that it's just one of many areas where content marketers are just being ineffective. I think some of that is because we don't measure our success off of leads and off of revenue generated, which keeps us from getting the budget, that we need. But also I firmly believe that as we grow, as our businesses grow, we we grow faster by leveling ourselves up, right, and working on more of the right things. And the right things for you then become higher leverage, higher value things. So I want to show you a couple of things today. But before I really get into that, I want to talk quickly. I'm going to pull up my iPad here. I want to talk quickly about kind of the three stages of investing in things. And the first one is that we start off when we're first starting off, we trade time for money, right? And this often applies to entrepreneurs, but I think it can apply for people as well. So we're trading time for money, right? We are because we don't have the money yet. So say you're the first content marketer at a business, or you were the first content marketer at a business, right? At this point, you're in a significantly bigger org, and you actually have budget. But at the start, you're not really given it. You're hired to be the content manager, but you have no budget to hire freelancers or anything like that. So you have to spend time because you don't have money, right? Next up is the second step is that we trade money for time. So we actually have budget. We don't have time. Go back. We don't have time. So we're able to spend money to buy ourselves back time in our life. And then number three is we're trading money for money, which doesn't really apply here, but just in terms of kind of a framework for thinking about life, this is kind of a good way to do it. So starting with that that framework, I want to outline for you. We talked a while ago about content roles, right? Content tasks and roles on a team. So the typical flow is for producing content and for like a marketing team is first off, there is the management, right? Management of team, right? Process. Then we have someone is creating the strategy, right? Then we have the actual creation of the content. So this is writing. Then we have editing, like first level, editing slash feedback. Then we have, second draft. Hopefully you're sending it back to the writer for them to fix it, or you have it built into with your freelancers that they'll do a round of, revisions after you have edited it. Don't pay freelancers for writing stuff that is off brief. Just don't do it. There are a lot of really bad content freelancers out there, actually. So the more that we can, work with the better ones, the better. Then there's the second round of edits. And then there is the upload and format, right, in a CMS. And then there is the promotion, right, of content. This is kind of what is required, right, to run a content program. So I'm going to move this over, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller because I want to be able to fit a full like table on here. So the question then comes, how much is each of these worth, right? And this is how we start thinking like business people, creating content and doing marketing, and not just like tacticians and and technicians. So What is each of these worth? Basically, what I want to do is I want to ascribe a value to each of these to illustrate my point. You can, we can debate, you can debate. I don't want to debate it with you, but we can debate the actual numbers here. But the point that I want to have here is let's ascribe a value to each of these, how valuable they are to the business. And then I want you to look at how much time are you putting into each of these and where are you working on stuff that's honestly below your pay grade. If we've accepted that basically for a full-time person to be worthwhile, they need to be adding at least 3 times their value to the business every single month. So if you're or working on, tasks that are kind of worth 3x their, what they're being paid. So if someone's being paid $10,000 a month, right, they need to be working on $30,000 worth of value. So let's take a look at that, right? And so it's going to vary like by each team member. So if you're a director or something like that, like do it for yourself and then do it for your team members as well, and see where they are working on things that they probably shouldn't be working on, and then figure out, because it's just not high value work for them, it's honestly below their pay grade, that you can outsource or work towards outsourcing over time so that they can work on higher leverage things, up level themselves, up level their value to the business. So I'm going to go green here. And this is kind of how I conceptualize it, and I hope it helps. The first one, let's just describe the value. So let's say management is worth, $250 an hour. Strategy is worth 150. Creation is worth 75. First level editing, developmental, etc. is like 50 an hour. The second draft, we're just not going to put anything there because it should be in there with the creation. Second round of edit. So this is like copy editing, proofreading, some like, synthesizing, line editing. Let's call this 35 an hour. Uploading and formatting is like 15 max. And then promotion is 75. So let's say you have 40 hours in a week to work, right? So 20 is, I'm going to go to a different color. So this is going to be orange, and hours. So let's say you put, 20 hours a week here, and you put 4 hours a week to strategy, you put 4 hours a week to creation, you put 6 hours a week towards editing and feedback, you put maybe like an hour, let's say 2 hours to the second draft, you put 2 hours to the second round of edits, you put a total of say like 2 hours to uploading and formatting, and so 20, 24, 28, 34, 40, right? So you have no time left for promotion, right? So what are we doing here? We can tally all this up if we want to, but basically this comes out to somewhere around 5K a week, right? Of value that this person is adding. So this is 20K a month. And so if they're at like, basically this person needs to be making really like 6.5K, under 6.5K a month for this to make sense, right? But director of content, director of marketing, something like that, if this is what their typical week looks like and they're making 150 a year, right? So 12, we're at like half of where we need to be, right? So how do we kind of correct for this is the question. The way I do it, the way I look at it is, and I'm going to use purple here, is let's start with the lowest value things, right? So if you're the director of marketing, what are the things that you should offload first, right? So because and where we start is what's the least value here. So number one that we're going to offload is going to be uploading and formatting. If you're director of content, you should not be working on $15 tasks like this. The second thing that we're going to offload is the second round of edits, right? Because once again, so this is the lowest value, this is the next lowest value, but they still have to be done, right? So if you're able to offload this, even if you're only able to offload 75% of it, now all of a sudden we're minus 3 hours, per week. So that's 12 hours a month that you can now put into something else. The next thing I would usually offload is the actual creation, because the editing and feedback, right, you're the ultimate quality control. So like continuing to do this one, which is really just like the, is it on brief, is it on tone, all that sort of stuff, and giving the in-depth feedback to make your writers better, whether they're freelancers or or full-time. That's actually quite valuable work. So I'm actually going to flip these, and I'm going to say that the writing is actually $50 an hour, and the editing, like this top level editing, right, is actually $75 an hour. Because I think that actually shows it a bit more. Editing actually does take more expertise than writing usually. So we've got editing would then be the next one. Where's my cursor? So 4 there. And then promotion would be the 5th, right? So if you're a director, like you're keeping these. The writer is still doing the second draft. So really you're ultimately moving towards how do you do more of the higher like leverage things like promotion and the edit, the QA, the like higher level like management of editing, feedback, etc. And then the promotion side, which actually gets the eyeballs on it. Those are where you ultimately want to be spending your time. But this is how we go about buying back our time, identifying the tasks that we're working on that really we shouldn't be working on, anymore. As Dan Martell likes to say, 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. I totally agree with him on that. And so this is where we can start to identify. So if we were buying back 80% of your time, right? So we start off here, and this is just 75% of your time, but still it's 3 hours. So we bought back 3 hours a week. So that's 12 a month, right? Just on 1 and 2. And then on the creation side, right? Say you're putting 4 hours towards it right now, and we go down to 1. So that's another, 3 hours a week. So now we're to 24 hours a month, right? And then you move on to editing and feedback, and say you cut that down to 2 hours a week, right? So 4 times 4 is another 16. So what have we done here? We have basically, right, and this is all like lower value, lower per hour work, right, that needs to be done, and it needs to be valuable. But what we've done is, and I'm just going to use pink here because I want to really highlight it. We have found an additional 40 hours a month, an additional week a month that you can put towards higher leverage activities, right? And remember, before doing this, you weren't even able to do any promotion, right? So now 40 hours you could put, so that this 0, that actually becomes 5 hours a week that you can put towards, promotion. And maybe you can put, and that's just like half the time that we've bought back, right? So you could put another like 3 hours, towards strategy, or towards like hiring, or towards like management, towards like performance management, right? Or measuring or upskilling yourself so that you can get the budget that you need in order to do the things, right? Maybe you invest in analytics and you get an analytics person to help you tie back, so the traffic that you're driving to leads, to sales, et cetera, so you can show the value, right? So you can actually get the budget that you need. There's a lot of things that you can do here that you're not currently able to do because you're working on stuff that you really should not be working on. I see this all the time. So this is how you can actually go about trading that time for just prioritizing the things that you need to be working on even more, so you can get to, now you're trading money for time, and then you're putting that time into higher leverage tasks, which generates more money, which means you can buy more time, and ultimately you end up working on much higher leverage activities. So I hope that's helpful for you. It's helpful for me to see it kind of drawn out this way. It's how I love to think about content marketing, or just like marketing overall, that the more we can show the business value of what we're doing, and the more we can understand really what's going on in our own work, and then work strategically to get ourselves working on higher leverage things, the more successful we're going to be. And honestly, the more valuable we're going to be to our employers, or to our business, or to our clients, whatever it is. So hope that helps. I'm John Doherty. I'm the founder here at Editor Ninja. If this sounds like you, and you've realized that you need to get rid of some of these tasks that you shouldn't be working on anymore, come talk to us, editorninja.com/demo. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.